Hello, welcome to day five. Day five of five, like 5 steps today. Today we're going to do 5 steps to transform junk food cravings into powerful urges. First, I want to begin with a story that this client allowed me to, she gave me permission to share it with you. So, this woman called because she was having trouble with sugar. She said she tried nutritionists and even a psychiatrist because she was diagnosed with having kind of a moderate depression. So one of the things we know about sugar and junk food consumption is that it does affect moods and has a role in depression. So I told her to bring the food that she struggles with, and generally people bring something, French fries, a bag of something, or Skittles, or a candy, a cookie or something. But when she showed up, she had literally a tray of desserts that she presented. There were 6 different desserts on there. So I had to consider how she transported that, the accoutrements, if you will. So what the client described to me as we got into the discussion, it was really fascinating, because she told me that when she was a child that she was very sickly, more than considered like normal childhood ills. So her mother was diagnosed as a narcissistic personality, and this woman, when she was a child, had discovered that the way to get her mom to pay attention to her was for her to become ill. And although she certainly didn't realize the power of illness to bring mother towards her when she was a child, she started to put the pieces together now. But the interesting thing is that when she would lie in her bed, and she was ill, her mom would carry a tray in of food for her several times a day. So she didn't even realize the connection to this experience, and she discovered how she still wanted that love from her mother, but wasn't able to secure in the way that she wanted. And after the processing work in a session, she was able to have a new perspective on that, so that she could step back and begin allowing herself to literally feed herself, not only through food, but in other ways. So food is either, I hope what you realize now is that food is either medicinal or toxic and depleting. So it either feeds us or depletes us. And food is often used to quell our ills, to manage our stress, to comfort, soothe us, to help us to manage with stresses and traumas that we have been suppressing and holding on to. And food is also can be very symbolic of historic issues in our lives, and we don't realize it and don't put it together until you do work, in the way that I do. So just to let you know who I am, I'm Sanna Carapellotti. I am an alchemist. I am a yoga instructor and a heart math coach. And along with eating stress, I also help people in with performance in athletics, as well as academic testing or school related stuff. I do medical issues, diagnoses. It's fascinating how you can literally have a discussion with an illness or a situation that you have in your body, because the body carries messages and informs us of what's happening in our lives. And I also help people with current life stress, and even inherited stress and trauma. So I want to thank you all for your incredible support through all of this, your comments and your emails. I'm really appreciative because I know that I learn from you, and it helps me to keep kind of fresh in my perspective in terms of what I need to learn to be most helpful. So I want you to realize through all of this food stuff that you are not stuck, that you can achieve your freedom or your release from junk food if it's a problem in if it's a problem for you in your life. As I have said many times, I'm a firm believer in that you can heal anything, and I've experienced and witnessed thousands of transformations here in my office through the work that I facilitate. So healing, that's a topic for another day, is a very, sometimes we have to kind of get to know ourselves and different like aspects of our lives that are kind of fueling our current life behaviors. So what I've discovered too is that the most effective modalities that help you process all of this information, what you're carrying from behind, what the imprints that you're carrying in the body, is processing work. And that just talking about it through traditional methods is not always the best approach. It can be helpful for sure, but not always the best approach. So I hope that you can see and that you've realized some patterns in your own lives through these few days that we have worked together here. So I want to go through these 5 steps so that you can kind of keep these in mind as you find yourself in those moments when you're struggling or overeating, so that you can continue to learn about yourself. So the first step, I think, is to engage awareness. And that basically means is like, what is it that you're doing? Okay, and also what are the triggers, the pushes and the pulls that kind of pull you into that automatically? Because keep in mind, if it's automatic, okay, it is patterned and imprinted in the subconscious mind. So these behaviors, if you look at these moments of struggle, there's a beginning, there's an entry point, there's a processing through, there's a movement of all these different behaviors and actions and habits and so forth, and then there's a stepping away. So anywhere that you have those in your life, okay, you can change those habits, but the first piece is awareness. What's happening? What are you saying to yourself? What happened in your life in the time before that? What is the stress that brought you into it? So keeping in mind too that there's also a physiologic response in that after the behavior is completed, the habit, okay, here as you step back out into your life, your body's going to talk to you. It's going to tell you through digestive ills or headaches or like joint pains, that sort of thing, that's going to communicate to you the effect that junk food has had on your body. Okay, so knowing and facing yourself. And the food issue is not always a big trauma, as I shared with you at the beginning. Sometimes it's just a bad habit that we've gotten into because of something that occurred some years ago. So there can be child abuse, there can be trauma, generational stress. We learn how to manage stress. We learn what foods and ways to cope from our family. Unfortunately, they're not always healthy. So now as an adult, it's an opportunity for you to redecide, how are you choosing to live in your body? So using resources and tools. So there are some things that you do well in your life, and that's really important. What gives you the relief that you need? What helps you to manage stress? So being up front, keeping those top of mind. I always encourage clients to make a list of a couple of things and put it on the refrigerator or the cabinet of things that they can do physiologically, things that they can do to clear their heads, whether it's knitting or using a process of some sort or an activity that they engage in. Because when stress rises, it's hard to remember, oh, I really enjoy gardening. That helps me to focus. So if you can have that list there, you can go and you can see, well, I think I need to release tension from my body. And these are ways that I know have helped me in the past. So listening to the small voice inside of you and what you say to people can be enormously helpful too. You might hear, I really need to get outside more, or I need to do this and that. Last year, I go to Camp Erin every year, and it's a bereavement camp for kids, and I serve as a clinical point person, helping. There's like 120 kids who show up, who come to the camp, and so I help with crises and so forth. And I was literally outside from 7 a.m. until 11 o'clock every day for 3 days. I don't remember, when was the last time you went outside and played like that? I now make a point to get outside at least for some minutes, a couple of times a day, to take in nature. Okay, so the other thing, if you're interested and you need audios to help bring you down, I have audios on cdbaby.com. There's stress reduction, weight loss, healing heart, and there's a surgery empowerment program on there. And I've reduced the cost significantly so that they can be available to whoever needs them. So they're guided experiences. It's my voice to binaural beat music. Put on headphones and just relax anywhere from 7 to 20 minutes. And it literally can help to reset the brain as well as the nervous system. So it's cdbaby.com. So the other piece is that it's easy to feel weak and overwhelmed, in the face of the problems we have, and easily turn to food. Yet one of the things that we know is that we can find a strength in the adversities that we experience in our lives. But what is it that you can do? Who can you bring in and bring closer into your life to help you? Because the strength that you have in other areas of your life, whether it's work or a hobby that you engage in, and that love and that passion, that's transferable. Those are transferable states of well-being that you can apply to this situation that you struggle with. So finding peace and self-love is also really important. And I know that can be difficult because, again, this is not your fault. If you're struggling with food issues, especially with junk food, it is not your fault. As I said, the food industry they know that we live anxious, stressed out lives, and that we don't have a handle on how to manage and cope with the stress that we experience. So they crafted these foods that literally hijack the brain, give us temporary relief, and then we suffer in the long term, which again returns us into that cycle of despair, returning us to the grocery store to buy Skittles or Oreos, which, by the way, are the most addictive cookie on the planet. So finding peace and love. If you think about the difficulties out in the world, there's no more terror inflicted upon us than what we do in our heads. So do you know that most of that information is a lie? It is a lie. And some of those thoughts aren't even yours. They may belong to parents, teachers, coaches, siblings, or your history. And as an adult, I always encourage, especially my 20-something clients, to get into what are you hearing here? And what are thoughts that build you up and what are depleting thoughts? Because as adults, it's up to us to kind of go into our minds to see how have we been programmed and conditioned. A part of it is the food industry. A part of it comes from our families and our ancestors, as well as the culture that we belong to. So the more you start sorting through, what do I believe about my life, the strength that I have, the resources, can I love myself? Am I allowed to be healthy in my family? Those are all important questions to start engaging interest and an inquiry here about who are you and how are you relating to yourself when you're hurting. There are many effective ways to clear your head, to reset the nervous system, to cool down the limbic system, which is the stress system of the brain. So as you get to know yourself, then you can assess more accurately what you need. And I can tell you that Skittles is not what you need. Okay. I do want to show you something. I meant to grab it out. So if you just give me 1 second, let me grab this. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so I want to show you this. I always make sure I show it to teens and 20-somethings. Okay, do you see this here? I know the back of it. This is a burger I bought in 2007 from McDonald's. Okay, so you can see there's no mold on it. It doesn't even smell. It's kind of like plastic. Okay, this here is a a Wendy's burger. It has, you can see that the cheese is like it looked back in the day, 2007. And here's some French fries from 2007, okay? All right, what is this? This is not food. The other thing I have here, these are chocolate chip cookies. Now you will notice some of the chips are out. My cat used to play with this food, never ate it, but used to play with it. So so these I purchased in 2010 from a major grocer here in town. So you can see that there's a lot of preservatives here. So I actually had to put this food away because people would always ask, oh, am I disturbing your lunch? So anyway, I want to thank you all for coming and listening to me. If there's anything I can do for you, you're welcome to email or call and see if anything that I do or anything I offer product-wise can be helpful to you. So I do have a seat left in the junk food class on Saturday. The link is up there if you're interested. And I will have a healing retreat that I'm scheduling probably towards the end of summer, early fall, so look for that as well. So if you're not on my Facebook page, Your Quest for Self-Healing, I would encourage you to hop on and give it a like, and I will look forward to seeing you somewhere, either here on Facebook or in one of my classes and so forth. So many blessings to you. Namaste. Thank you so much. Much love to you. Bye-bye.